Let's get to it. Let's get to it. First and foremost, welcome to the live stream. I appreciate y'all. Y'all don't do this not nearly as often as I'm not even gonna say as I should, because to be honest, this is free information. Salute to my Patreon guys. To be honest, the people who pay are more loyal to the people than the people who come for the free shit. It's funny how that shit works. But salute to y'all. This is one of the more important ones, especially for our culture, because this is something that y'all just not gonna know. Y'all just gonna wonder why it is what it is when it actually happens. So first and foremost, make sure you guys like the live stream. Make sure you guys share it, all that good stuff. Obviously, this will be available to the public. I get way more views when I actually just share it, but I always want to make sure I'm doing this real time at least once a week if I can, just so people know what's going on in real time. So first and foremost, the market is pretty flat. If you follow my Patreon page, you know exactly why it is flat. September is traditionally the worst month when it comes to stock market. It just is what it is. It always has been. Since 1945, the S&P 500 was the lowest in September, point blank period. So don't think that it's just bloody because the market is fucked up and all these other reasons. Realistically, September is always the worst month for trading, period, out of the year. Just what it is. So that's why shit is bloody. Like I said, don't take it personal. It's just part of the game. If you know stocks, you know this is the time to buy. September and October. October won't be too much better. But I did want to speak to y'all about a couple things. These are two stocks that I was advocating for, basically since COVID hit. And if you invested into it during those times, and you at least doubled up, if not tripled up. The first one I wanted to talk about is Apple. They're actually doing a launch event today. I don't know exactly when today, but it's going to be today. They're going to be revealing, I believe, the i14, the Apple 14, which is weird because the 13 ain't even dropped yet. So it's like people who buying 13 kind of like, damn, I shouldn't even waste my money with this shit. But they're doing a launch. They're going to be speaking about the new phones. They're going to be talking about new Apple watches. They're also going to be talking about new Apple the AirPods, and they also going to be talking about new iPods or the iPad. Now, you would think that this would be a reason for the stock to go up, but if we're going based off of history, last time they did this launch event, the stocks actually went down. I don't know why they went down, but that's just what happened actually the last couple of times. So I would expect that if once this does happen, that the stock might go down a couple dollars, not for any particular reason, besides the fact that they might just and another thing has to do with the fact that Apple is currently going with they've got this big antitrust case going on right now, and they were actually in front of Congress yesterday, and they really got shitted on. So I don't know if today's launch event is going to help that. They basically was telling Apple that they're trying to take over the world, which I mean that ain't too far. That ain't too far from reality. So if it goes down, that's a good thing. I mean, at the end of the day, everything is red this month, so everything is a fire sale. So everything is an opportunity. And the fact of the matter is, Apple ain't going nowhere. It's $1 trillion company. They are building for the future. So if it happens to go down today, hop on that shit. The other thing I wanted to talk to y'all about is Nike, and that's actually once again one of the original stocks that I was really pushing for back when the shit was like $60 a pop. Now it's like 160. So I mean, obviously, if you invested into it when I said you almost tripled up at this point. But they are dealing with some shit. They got some issues going on that is really going to affect everybody who actually invests into Apple. Uh, for those that don't know, the majority of Apple, the fuck am I talking about? Nike. For those that don't know, Nike, all their shit is actually developed in Vietnam for the most part. The majority of what they create is in Vietnam. Now, unlike America, where over 70% of the adults are actually vaccinated, in Vietnam, only 5% of the adults are vaccinated. So what this has meant is there has been repeated shutdowns of the warehouses and the factories in Vietnam. And it's actually gotten to the point to where they are actually saying that the warehouse is about to be shut down for the next 2 months. So that is 2 full months with zero production for Nike products. What does this mean? Obviously, it's kind of like the semiconductor thing when it comes to vehicles. you see that it's a real scarcity when it comes to rentals and buying new cars. It's because of the semiconductors which are made in Taiwan, which has a similar issue. So in Vietnam, because of these shortages, because of the lockdowns in terms of the manufacturing Nike plants, this means that there's going to be a tremendous shortage in Nike shoes, not just this year, but also going all the way up until summer of next year. This is something that was actually predicted yesterday. The stock actually went down about 3% yesterday when this was actually revealed. And it is important to know what they're recommending is that if you are looking to get into buying shoes maybe for Christmas, shit like that. Buy them now. Buy them now. Buy them now. Buy them now. Because if you wait until December, it's going to be a lot of sad kids thinking that they about to get some shoes that they not about to get. What's going to happen is they're only going to be released on, some of these apps that if you don't got the bot, which shout out to my kid, he invested in 2,500 into a bot. But unless you're making an investment like that, to where you're actually investing into a bot, a lot of these shoes you just not about to get. And I mean, for those who are actually shoe heads, you know that this has been an issue for a while. Like the demand just on the Nike, on the Jordan ones, which they were never really that popular, but just the demand on those shoes at that point, at this point in time, it's like it's almost impossible to get some of these shoes. So the fact that it's only going to get worse from here. Count Jordan's out. Count some of these shoes that y'all like, some of these Air Maxes. If you don't get them now in December, you're not getting shit. So you better look either at Adidas or you better look at designer shoes because Nike is about to be a dub. And it's not really actually just Nike. It's actually pretty much all of the major distribution clothing companies that are manufactured in those areas. They're all feeling it. So, like for women, if you get Lululemon, if that's something that you have interest in, you better get that shit now too because they're dealing with the exact same issue. So once again, this is not only going to affect the Nike stock for a while, but it's just going to affect the everyday user of Nike clothing. So it's just something important to know. So like I said, long story short, the two main things to look out for: the Apple launch later on today. Once again, I would predict that that stock goes down a little bit if we're just going based off the history of how these Apple launches normally go, and then as well as this Nike shit. And this Nike shit is going to really send ripples long term, really across the entire fashion industry. Nike's just the first one to announce that they're going to fill it. So that's pretty much it, y'all. The market, it's red. It's red across the board. This is a fire sale. Invest into it now if you got the extra bread to do it, because 2 months from now you're gonna wish you did, just like a lot of the people wish they did 3 months ago and receiving the benefits from it now. So that's pretty much it. Tomorrow we will have new content for our Patreon guys. Hopefully my Patreon guys tapped into the Friday and yesterday's post, because if you're not on that, you're missing out on a lot of money. I try to stay away from showing people my investments so people see, but right, you got to look into that. So shout out to my Patreon guys. So make sure you guys tap in. In terms of the live stream, I should be back Thursday. I don't think I got nothing going on that would prevent me from doing it. So just make sure y'all tap in. But till then, y'all have a good rest of the day.